we just showed you that this happened. Ocasio-Cortez faked being handcuffed along with Ilhan Omar. That's the video I saw. I don't know if Rashid Tlaib also faked getting handcuffed, but I wouldn't put it past him. And then people were making memes like this saying the media shows you this that looks like she's handcuffed, but in reality she's just holding her hands behind her back, and she's not. And Cenk Uygur, of course, fell for it. He congratulated them, and again, this guy has to point it out to him. The whole thing was staged, Cenk. This is why people think you are disingenuous. You can't give anyone the benefit of the doubt. You can't give the benefit of the doubt to anyone you disagree with. But we have actual visible evidence of 2 congresswomen staging an arrest, and you side with them because you agree with them. And,
yeah, right.
And he did the same thing with when they did their fake stunt saying that they were doing the moratorium for the people's rents and mortgages, and that was all a stunt. And people like Cenk still pretend that was real. So let's listen to this and have fun with it. You didn't write jokes for this, did you?
I never got this one.
Okay, here we go.
And if you're an establishment Democrat, get the hell out of our way, which is, by the way, 90% of the Democratic Party.
So that's Cenk Uygur still pretending that there's 10% of the people in the Democratic Party who are good. And somehow, if we just fight hard enough inside that Democratic Party, we can get real change. But he's going to tell you to vote for these same people he's screaming about right now. Watch.
Get out of the way. Get out of the fight way so we can get into the
until November and when I vote for you. Get out of the way until I tell people to vote for you.
fight and fight those Republicans. So thank you, AOC, Tlaib, and all the others for being actual Democrats and for actually caring. And I mean,
thanks for doing an actual stunt where you actually pretended to have actual handcuffs on, but it was fake. They had actual invisible handcuffs on, Kurt. Thank you for actually having actual invisible handcuffs on your actual hands.
Yeah, thanks for not going into the building and, writing up some kind of thing with your, reason that you're there for power. You go stand outside with the people. We're not doing your job.
I like these mugs, but Cenk Uygur wrote a book, sold it, and then never wrote it. You can't sell a book you haven't written. He did that.
Oh, wow. Invisible handcuffs, invisible book.
Invisible book.
Cenk Uygur story. You should get AOC to be holding up his invisible book to promote it.
So watch this.
Democratic leadership. I mean, they might do this like many months from now with kente cloth and a Bono poem in their hand, as like if they realize it's good optics, and then they can send an email fundraising off of it, right? But otherwise, you're never going to see them take
exactly what Cenk just predicted that the corporate Democrats would do. His beloved Justice Democrat AOC did immediately after she was fake handcuffed. She sent out a fundraising email immediately. And I don't know if you've ever donated to a Democratic candidate. I have. You will never stop getting fundraising emails after that. And I get them from Cori Bush, AOC. I get them from Nancy Pelosi. To me, from Nancy Pelosi. Dude,
I get them, and I've never donated to these people.
Well, Cenk Uygur,
I somehow got swept up in a social media thing years ago.
Well, I was a member, a premium member of the Young Turks when I worked there, so I could watch my own stuff. And Cenk Uygur sold his mailing list to the DNC, so that's how that happens. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yes.
So just the 10% that are good, or the whole thing?
We sold it to Democratic telemarketers for sure. I don't know if directly to the DNC, but definitely to Democratic, and that's why you get those. That's why I get those. So here we go. There's more of this.
Any action to fight Republicans? Nothing at all. The only thing Democratic leadership has done since Roe got overturned was to help anti-choice legislators. That's not hyperbole.
No.
Nancy Pelosi helped to put Cuellar, Jim Clyburn helped to put Cuellar back into Congress. Cuellar's anti-choice. That's a fact. He voted to defund Planned Parenthood.
What? Go ahead, Kurt.
What's her name? Nice Anna? Who's that? Like, oh, Now Cenk doesn't have to sit there quietly going, yes, yes, honey, yes, I know, dear. Like she just, ooh, boop. She just made like a little boop noise.
She's gonna go tee-ha, hoo hoo, like do a Michael Jackson sound. Ha hoo.
Yum yum ding ding. That's how Kyle does Kylie Jenner.
Many other terrible votes, and Joe Biden helped to tried to put an anti-choice judge on the federal court. That the only thing they've done is to help the other side.
Yep.
Democratic leadership is they're the worst people on the planet, because the Republicans might be monsters, but these idiot Democratic leaders are like, how do we help those monsters?
Yeah, Cenk, you're the one who are going to tell people to vote for those monsters, like you just did. You just told everybody to vote for them. And you told them to vote for Nancy Pelosi as speaker, or else we might get Kevin McCarthy as speaker, even though that was a lie. You told people that. You never retracted it or apologized.
Well, now that Cenk has warned me, the Democratic Party has lost 90% of my vote.
So now Cenk has to literally cross his fingers that his audience are stupid and don't know what's actually happening. That he has to hope that they don't know that McCarthy couldn't become speaker.
Yeah, right.
He has to hope that they're uninformed, and he keeps them uninformed.
It's a hard balancing act, you know, like I don't think he should have got nice Anna for this one, because Anna seemed very genuine with her anger. Like she literally knows nothing and just found out about this now.
Yes.
And she's genuinely upset. He seems like he's known for a while, like since back when he sold his mailing list to the Democrats. He's probably known how it's worked for quite some time. Look at his face in that freeze frame.
He's trying to pretend that the Democratic Party, there's people inside the Democratic Party fighting for you. He can't point to one thing that AOC or the Justice Democrats have done except take corporate money now and turn their back on you at every turn and support and go along with the military-industrial complex. Look at what they're doing here. The House just passed a bill authorizing $840 billion for the Pentagon. More Republicans voted against it than Democrats. Every one of the squad voted for that $54 billion to go to Ukraine. So this is the Democratic Party that he's going to tell you to keep voting for. These are the people they're doing a stunt. They're doing a fucking stunt. And he's thanking them for doing nothing. So I want to play this all the way through one more time.
And if you're an establishment Democrat, get the hell out of our way, which is, by the way, 90% of the Democratic Party. Get out of the way, get out of the fight way, so we can get into.
Oh, I bet they were like, hey, Cenk Uygur said we should get out of the way. So, okay, well, let's get out. I don't know if you heard Cenk, he yelled about it in his closet.
I thought that's what they've been doing the whole time, and that's what the issue was. They get out of the way of all the bad things and do nothing. To prevent it. No, stand there and block something for once.
Fight those Republicans. So thank you, AOC, Tlaib, and all the others for being actual Democrats and for actually caring. And I mean, you and Democratic leadership. I mean, they might do this like many months from now with kente cloth and a Bono poem in their hand. As like if they realize it's good optics, and then they can send an email fundraising off.
You know, we didn't mock it back then, by the way.
Here it is.
When he did it, he was like, yeah.
Here it is. There she is raising money off it. As soon as he said she wouldn't, only Nancy Pelosi would do that with the kente cloth. Here's Ocasio-Cortez doing it, and here's my favorite, the Smollett sisters.
Oh, thank you for your service, ladies.
And let's remember this. Let's remember when they did their stunt about getting the eviction moratorium overturned, which was a stunt. And people like the Cenk and the Young Turks still haven't called it out as the stunt that it is. And you want to see how it's a stunt? Because their eviction moratorium actually never went through, and everyone knew it. And when they were asked about the 1 million people that were being left out of it, they just turned the music up. Because there were millions of people being left out of this eviction moratorium, and they knew it. And they weren't like, we have to go fight and get it for help those people too. This is what they did.
And we showed up. People said, how are you going to do it? What's your 10-point plan? What are you doing 5:30 p.m. on Saturday? How many days are you going to be here? Yeah, but this is that. But what about? And we said none of that matters. We're gonna figure that out.
Someone just said, or will people's rent be forgiven? We're going to figure that out. No, you're not. You're not going to figure it out, and you didn't figure it out.
Just so we'll figure it out. I'm trying to do slam poetry right now. Please. We got to go and please stop.
Okay, what?
What are you going to do? You asked us what we're going to do. What are you guys going to do?
Here's what we're going to do. The CDC just announced an eviction moratorium, and what we're here is for our reasons known and unknown. So our reasons known was to make sure that we extended this moratorium. That's what we're here to do.
What about the 10%? What about the 10%?
Okay, we're going to turn on some music now.
What about the 10%?
Music!
We can't celebrate. We cannot celebrate.
Oh, those are all plants in the crowd, right?
So that's what they do when they're asked a real question about, hey, so that's what this is. And of course, the dumbest guy on the internet fell for it. And he's going to tell you that there's 10% of Democrats that are worth supporting and giving your money to. Even as AOC takes that money and gives it to right-wingers, that's what AOC does with her money. And that's if that's what she wants to do, that's okay. You should just know that's what she's doing with it. And Cenk Uygur's going to tell you to vote for all those people, all those 90% bad Democrats. He's going to tell you to vote for them. How could I help you? They know you're going to vote for them. And he tries to pretend that someone else is the dupe in this situation. And here he is being duped by fucking this. By this he gets duped by. After they've done nothing. They did nothing on forced to vote. They did nothing on $15 minimum wage, marijuana, anything. They all voted to give $54 billion to Ukraine. They all voted for the largest upward transfer of wealth in the history of humankind, which was the CARES Act, and got nothing, crumbs for it.
That should be a new shirt he sells with like her on the front.
Yeah, that's
and then you turn in the back and you see the uncuffed.
We should sell this shirt. Can we sell this shirt? Sacramento, back here in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our shows.